Welcome into Bills Tonight Digital, presented by Hunt Real Estate, the official real estate and relocation company of the Buffalo Bills. Maddy Glab here, hanging out solo dolo tonight. We'll be hearing from all of our players, from head coach Sean McDermott. The Bills are 10-3 for the first time since 1991. It feels so good to say after they defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 26-15. What a game! What a difference from the first half to the second half. A big thanks to the coaching staff and the players for the halftime adjustments they made in order to come out in the third quarter and the fourth quarter and completely play lights out. The statistics from the first half to the second half are absolutely insane. A lot of records broken. One of those records is Stefon Diggs. He ties Eric Moulds with the most catches in a season with 100. He also has a new career high in his first season with the Buffalo Bills. 10 catches for him tonight, 130 receiving yards, 1 touchdown for him. Josh Allen had another great game in the third quarter. He really was incredible. He was 10 of 10 for 116 yards, 2 touchdowns, 154.6 passer rating. This offense absolutely turned the corner in the second half of the game. Taron Johnson with a pick 6, Levi Wallace with an interception in the game. So many things to talk about, but let's turn it over to Stefon Diggs, who's answering questions from the media right now.
Coach Dayball just came in and just told us that we need to do our jobs. We weren't being us in the first half, and it was evident. We weren't moving the ball efficiently, and receivers, we weren't doing our job good enough. And in the second half, he just said everybody needed to do their job and hone in on everybody, just win your one-on-ones, and that's how we start get the ball rolling a little bit, getting some first downs and that kind of thing. So we kind of tried to double dip at halftime. We got some points, and we try to get some more points coming out. And we just try to get rolling from there.
How about your performance for you personally? You're now 1 catch away from breaking Eric Moulds' single season catch record, best receiving total for you for your career. Just what do you make of the way that you're playing and the records that you're either getting closer to or that you've broken, and for your personal record?
More so give all the credit to the people around me, especially Josh Allen, young quarterback. He put his faith and his trust in me to make plays for him with the ball in my hands and catching the ball. And Coach Dayball, he calling the right stuff. He drawing it up upstairs and putting me in the best position to make plays. And then my wide receiver coach, Chad Hall, we put in a lot of work in practice. We rep a lot of stuff that's more game-like than anything. I could be a lot better. So, I don't think too much of it. I'm just trying to chase these wins.
Awesome. Thanks, Stefon. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Hey, Stefon, Chris Brown here. Just with respect to the start of the second half that Heather alluded to, it just seemed like Josh was looking for you early. And, he goes to you on 4 of the next 8 plays, and you guys put a touchdown on the board as well. How encouraging is it that even when you have a first half that's not lights out by any means, you can kick it into gear that quickly?
I guess it's super important that you come out firing. In the second half, we always look at it as a new hat, and we're trying to win on one-on-ones. For me, I'm not necessarily just trying to have success, bro. I'm trying to do everything I can to put Josh in the right mental space, making plays for him, and getting open. When we got that first half, we had a little bit of a lull. Weren't getting too many first downs, wasn't moving the ball efficiently. So I'm more so thinking about him during the game. So when things aren't going right, I'm trying to just make some plays for him, get him in a rhythm, and do what I can.
And I know you guys have been asked about Gabe a lot, being the rookie. All he seems to do is score touchdowns, though, Steph. What's the deal with him? Why is he so opportunistic?
I just tell you, man, we got a lot of guys that can play some ball. We're for sure looking forward to having Smoke back as well. But Gabe has definitely stepped in and stepped up as a young player. His maturation process is beautiful to watch from a different perspective, just to see his approach. And he's been doing all the right things, so I'm not surprised he's scoring touchdowns. He's supposed to have 10 touchdowns by now. He got a lot of them called back. So we're just going to get back in the lab, get back grinding. He's a guy that wants to grind and get better all the time. So I'm looking forward to his success.
Thanks, Steph.
Yeah.
Hey, Steph, it's Kim Jones from NFL Network. What is it like to know that even though it's not the playoffs yet, it's games like these that are the reason Brandon Beane traded for you. He knew that they needed you to help this team and this roster.
Oh, say that. I heard the last part. Can you say it one more time? I'm sorry.
Sure. It's not the playoffs yet, but what is it like to know that games like this one are the reason Brandon Beane and the Bills traded for you, and you came through beautifully?
Personally, I haven't given it too much thought, just because I'm trying to get better each and every day. You know what I'm saying? Every game I'm trying to put my best work out there. And I know that, a lot of people trust me and believe in me. And that's all I really wanted. And as a player, that's all you really ever want, for your coaches, the people around you to believe in you. And they just put me in the best position to be successful. In the first half, things weren't going right. We made some adjustments. And they do a better job at getting open than I am. So I'm just thankful.
Were you worried at all about Josh early in this game?
No, hell no. I know what kind of player he is. He's a tough quarterback. He's a mentally tough quarterback. I check on him throughout the game periodically. Like, you all right? Like, yeah. Like, he's never high. He's never too high. He's never too low. So I just try to stay behind him, let him know we got his back on the outside. And, when we can't make plays for him, we will.
Thanks, Steph. Congrats.
Gotcha.
Hey, Steph, if you could take me into the locker room. I mean, this is a massive win. The Bills are 10-3 for the first time since 1991. What was the vibe in there? What was it like in there the energy?
Joining it for 24 hours. But like Tremaine Edmonds, one of our captains, circled it up. He brought it back full circle like this. We're not complacent. It's a lot more football left. And we're chasing bigger goals, as far as like getting back, getting to work, getting everybody's bodies back. And he said dogs on 3. So it really shows you that the mindset that these guys have and everybody around, we're starving for more. We want more. We expect more from ourselves. And that's all.
That was Stefon Diggs on his 5th 100 receiving yard day. He has done so much for this team through week 14, has a lot left in his tank to finish out the season and into the playoffs. But it was really the defense who turned things around for this team, and they were the momentum shifters in this game. You think back to the first half of the season, it was the offense putting the plays together. It was the offense who held the momentum, and the defense has came on so strong in the back half of this season. And you look at their performance tonight, Taron Johnson with a pick-6 that really turned it around for the defense. Levi Wallace had an interception. The defense allowed only 81 yards in the second half. They allowed 50 passing yards in the fourth quarter, 0 rushing yards in the fourth quarter. The Steelers were 1 of 10 on 3rd down in this game, and both teams, the Bills and the Steelers, were averaging 27.8 points per game coming into the game, which is top 10. Well, the Steelers only scored 15 points. It's their 3rd straight game that they have scored under 20 points, their 2nd straight loss, and you have to hand this over to the defense for being able to completely shift things and shift the momentum. When the game seemed flat in the first half, the defense was the part of the group who brought it out in the second half and really helped turn the corner so that the offense could get on the field and start stringing plays together to get into the end zone. One of the guys that I just touched on, Levi Wallace, who had an interception, he's with Jordan Poyer after the game.
Just wondering, you talk about playing your best ball late in the year. Does it feel like you guys are playing your best ball with all the turnovers you guys are forcing?
I feel like we're still climbing. I feel like, you would definitely want to play your best ball in December, and we still got a couple games left to continue to prove that. I definitely think we're on the climb. Coach always talks about Kaizen, just continuous growth, continuous improvement. We didn't play a perfect game today, but we played well enough to win. And, we'll look at the tape and learn from our mistakes and continue to move on.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Got this glare here. Let's got here. Levi, 2nd straight year you have the big interception here against Pittsburgh. Does this one hold special meaning to you, especially understanding when we started seeing you rotate with Josh a little bit more?
No, for me, it's just another interception. I just try to make a play on the ball, to be honest. I just try to make a play for the guys, for real. You know, Poyer's always talking about big-time players make big-time plays and big-time moments. So,
And he did that today. Boy, that boy made a hell of a play.
and so, you know, I wasn't too much thinking about anything else besides trying to go out there and ball up for my teammates. So,
Were you actually touched? Granted, we're far away. It did not appear that you were touched.
to be honest, I got to go back and look at the film. I had knocked the wind out my system, so I stayed down a little extra second. But, you know, it's on the refs, to be honest. I mean, it took away my little yak yards, but it is what it is. I'm not tripping.
Appreciate it, Levi. Thank you.
That's Levi Wallace and Jordan Poyer on their day on defense. And Josh Allen, from the first half to the second half, he really turned things around. In the first half, he was 10 of 23, only completed 43% of his passes. In the third quarter, he was 10 of 10 for 116 yards in the air. He finished the day 24 of 43 for 238 yards through two touchdowns, had that one interception, finished with a 77.5 passer rating. The Pittsburgh Steelers defense, they were bringing the pressure all game, and we knew that this would be something that would happen. There's a player on the Steelers called TJ Watt. He leads the league with 12 sacks. They lead the NFL with 44 sacks. They pressure at a rate higher than any other defense in the NFL. And in the second half, Josh Allen was able to find his answers quickly, get the ball out, find his receivers, and string those plays together so that they could find plays to get into the red zone and then get into the end zone. And it completely worked for this offense, for the plays that Brian Dable was calling for them in the second half. With us now is Josh Allen.
I mean, I started completing it to the right guys, and our guys did a good job of getting open. But I think you saw it right when we came out, started in 1-4. We knew that we liked our matchup out there, and I can say with a lot of confidence, I think I like any matchup with 1-4. You know, he's one of the best, if not the best guy in the league. But I have supreme confidence in him. You know, he had a lot of juice at halftime. He wanted the ball, and we gave it to him. He took over for us. He really did. Our guys did a good job of, doing their job up front. Cole Beasley getting open, and Gabe Davis finding the paint, and we persevered. And obviously, the numbers aren't going to be super pretty. And I think at the end of the day, we got the win, and our defense played fantastic, and it was a three-phase win, I think, in our part.
I know for you, the win is the most important thing, but I don't know if you're aware of this. Probably at this point you are. You became the Bills' all-time leading scorer in a season with your 35th touchdown tonight, passing Jim Kelly. I guess just what does that honor mean to you?
I mean, to be mentioned in the likes of a guy like Jim, Hall of Fame guy, regarded as the best quarterback to ever play, in Buffalo. I know him personally, and he's, took me under his wing. So, like I said, to be mentioned in the same sentence as him, super honoring and super humbling. But that's not why I play. I play to help the team win football games and be the best quarterback and teammate I could be.
Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
Thank you. You as well.
Hey Josh, Heather Krusek here. Congrats on the win. I just asked Dion about Stefon Diggs, and I asked him, does it ever cease to amaze you things that Diggs can do? He said sometimes he wants to rip off his captaincy and give it to Diggs. I'm going to ask you the same question. Does it ever cease to amaze you the things that Diggs can do in the way that he's playing right now?
No, I'll tell you, the juice, the energy, the excitement he brings when he's on the field. And when we first traded for him, and the whole media backing about him was so negative, and it blows my mind how people can get that so wrong, because he's been nothing but great for us, nothing but great in the locker room, nothing but great on the sideline. All he wants to do is help his team win football games. He's a competitor. We have very similar mindsets. I love the guy. He goes out there and competes his tail off, and I'm super blessed that we traded for him.
I know that you guys take it game by game, but obviously the Steelers, one of the best teams in the league right now, and you guys just made a huge statement around the league. Just what does that say about this team and how far it's come in your just 3 years here in Buffalo?
I mean, we don't really worry about the outside narrative of what people think of us. We're trying to go win a division and get ourselves in the playoff, and we're one step closer to that. We know that, but we got a short week at hand, and we're going to play a Broncos team that's a really good team. So we got to find a way to get healthy, get rested up, and be ready for a Saturday game.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff.
Hey, Josh, two-part question just about Gabriel. One, can you just walk us through the touchdown pass to him? And then two, why is he able to find the end zone so often? I mean, he's got a low volume of receptions on the year, but the kid's got 6 touchdowns receiving. He's leading the team.
Well, I mean, for him to be, I think he was our 4th round pick, maybe our 5th round pick, but the way that he approaches the game, it's not rookie-like, and it's not that deep in a draft rookie-like. You know, he is the ultimate team player. He's asked to block. He's asked to run routes where he knows he's not going to get the ball. All he does is does his job, you know, and as a quarterback, to have a young guy who just consistently does his job and doesn't complain, you know, it's awesome. You know, the way that he's been able to grow and progress and take the coaching of guys like Steph and Cole and John, and then to apply it to the game field, it's been unbelievable. And he finds the paint. That's what he does, and he doesn't get a whole lot of targets. But when he does, he makes the play more often than not. And he's a guy that I have supreme confidence in. We have a really good relationship, and you know, makes you want to keep throwing him the ball.
What did you see on the touchdown pass to him?
Yeah, I mean, it was very similar to the one last week. Cole kind of broke out and got the corner to stop his feet just for 1 second and put it where, you know, only he can get it, and he came down with it and he did his job. He ran outside the release, and got into the zone where only he was going to be able to catch it. So as much as that one was on me, it was on him. You know, it was a great play by him, and his eyes coming back and understanding that the ball could be going to him, even on a play that's not really supposed to go to him.
Thanks, Josh.
Hey, Josh, Dan Fates in Rochester. Congrats on the win. What have you learned about handling slow starts offensively?
I mean, it's a long game, and I've been in games where we started fast and we've hit lows in the 3rd quarter, and we got to find ways to pick it up in the 4th. So kind of being in these slow starts the last couple of weeks and being able to find it late, you know, when it really matters the most, you know, I think that's a really good tell of a good sign of a good team. Guys that it may not be pretty right off the bat, but guys that are going to keep battling. You know, I can say this because we care about each other, and like I said, we work extremely hard in practice to put ourselves in situations like this. So it's a complete team effort.
Diggs said that sometimes he comes up to you during the game throughout it and says, you know, checks in on you, sees how you're doing, says you never get too high or too low. What does it mean to have a wide receiver come up to you and ask you how you're doing during a game?
It's awesome. Like I said, I can go on and on about how great of a guy and great of a teammate Steph is, but the dude can flat out play. I love throwing to him, and, you know, he's just a great dude.
Thanks, Josh. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Josh Allen, Mookie Hawkins, 1-4 Sports 1080. Congrats on the win today.
Thanks, Mook. Good to see you.
Good. It seems like in the first quarter that they was getting some pressures, you know, just kind of, you know, getting into your face a little bit in that first half, but you were able to fill those guys out, and near this halftime that you were able to get some success. What adjustments did you guys make in that halftime? Because that 3rd quarter, y'all was just flawless.
I mean, we started throwing it to Steph. Like I said, getting the ball out a little quicker, understanding that what they were trying to do, they were doing a good job early on. And make no mistake, that's a really good team that we just played, and they're an 11-win team for a reason. That defense it's a special defense. The way that they're able to get after the quarterback, and in the back end, they got guys that are ball hawks. So, you know, hats off to them for coming out and playing a really, really good game. But again, we just came out and started throwing it to 14, and I started getting to a little bit in there in the 3rd quarter, and just our guys did a really good job of getting open and blocking up front.
Absolutely. Speaking of ball hawks, Taron Johnson's pick 6, how much of a spark did that give you guys, give you that juice going into the locker room?
It was unbelievable to go into the locker room and be able to double dip like that after scoring a field goal. You know, 9 points in the span of a couple minutes right before the half. You know, that was huge for us to understand that no matter how bad the first half looked for us, we were still up by 2 points, and we were able to play with some confidence coming into the 3rd quarter. And, you know, hats off to him and our defense for stepping up the way that they did.
Congrats on the win, Josh. Good luck.
Thanks, Luke.
The quarterback press conference is presented by Energy Mark, the official energy supplier to the Buffalo Bills.
We heard Josh answer a question about it in his press conference, and one of the coolest things he's been able to do in his third season as the Bills quarterback is pass Jim Kelly's record for most touchdowns in a single season. Jim Kelly had 34, Josh Allen's total was brought to 35 tonight, and Josh Allen's answer was so great, just talking about how him and Jim Kelly have built this friendship since he's gotten to Buffalo. And these are just one of the many records that Josh Allen has been able to tie and to pass in just 3 short years here in Buffalo. And to do it against a defense in the Steelers that allow a league low of 17.6 points per game is something that's really special. The Steelers defense ranks high in so many different categories. Like I said, they lead the league with 44 sacks, with 23 takeaways, and they lead the league in interceptions as well, pressure at a rate higher than any other defense. And for this offense to find success in scoring 26 points, that's almost 10 points more than this defense usually allows, just says something about their maturity and how they've been able to increase their point total from last season by a large number, by more than a touchdown, and just speaks to what is in store for this team offensively throughout the rest of the season with the weapons that they have in Stefon Diggs and Gabriel Davis, a 4th-round rookie who's seen success and has had 3 straight games with 3 receiving touchdowns. And then you look to the defense. You look to players like Tre'Davious White and Tremaine Edmonds. And Tre'Davious White said last week, when takeaways come, they come in bunches. We have seen this defense force turnovers in several games as of late. Since week 7, they are tied for 2nd with 8 interceptions coming into this game. They tied for 4th with 12 takeaways coming into this game. Well, they had 2 interceptions tonight, and their leader on defense, Tre'Davious White, is here talking to the media.
Let's talk about this one. What's the vibe and feeling around this team after a win against the team that had the best record in the AFC coming in?
I mean, NFL week-to-week league, and I feel like, the way that we prepared all week and the way we went out about our business and studying film and just, perfecting our craft and just believing in the game plan that the coaches had for us. The performance that we had, it was great. It was nothing short of amazing, and I'm proud of the guys that we have in our room. And like I've been saying weeks and weeks, as the season keep going along, we keep on gelling and getting stronger together and keep on building and building that camaraderie. And as the season continue to go on, we continue to get better and elevate.
What does that say about this team in particular, the way you handle wins like this? In the past, like Minnesota, we saw the hype afterwards and the way that the team really rallied around that. The vibe seems different this year after wins like this. What does that say about this year's team?
I just feel like, we got a collective, strong group of guys that came in, and the guys that we already had, so we know what that bit of success feels like, and we know how to handle it now. And I feel like, Coach McDermott does a great job, and the whole staff around the building do a great job of just keeping us, in the moment, keeping us focused on what the task at hand, and never too high, never too low, because we know NFL is a week-to-week league, and we just got to bring our best football every week, no matter what's the circumstance. So I feel like, the group that we have, we do a great job of, taking the coaching and taking those points of coach bringing up in the meeting and just taking it to heart and just being on it and holding each other accountable for sure.
Thanks a lot, Trey.
I appreciate it.
Takeaway Trey, Mookie Hawkins, Buffalo Sports 1080. How's it going?
What's up, Mookie? How you doing?
I'm all right, man. I see you was doing a little bit of everything out there. You was even reffing and all types of stuff out there, getting cars changed over. But just care to talk about the play of Levi Wallace and Teron Johnson out there tonight.
Those guys, they've been doing it, no matter, they're battle tested. Those guys are resilient. I was telling Levi he's one of the most resilient guys I've been around. Just, the position that we play, you have to have a short-term memory. You have to be resilient. You have to just brush things off because, guys are going to catch passes. It's the NFL, and guys are good. And, we play the tough position on the field because these guys know where they're going. We don't know, so we just got to kind of make an educated guess or just be instinctive. So, it's a tough position, and, we just everybody gonna have their day, and we do a great job of just never too high, never too low in the defensive backfield. Good play or bad play, keep the same mentality, and never too high, never too low. Like I said, so I'm not surprised at the plays those guys are making, because they got those guys study film, they come in prepared, and they practice hard. So that what comes with it. You practice hard and give it everything you got. Good results gonna come when the time matters the most.
Absolutely. In the past 3 games, man, this defense has just been playing lights out. Care to talk about how this defense is evolving at the right time?
I just feel like we continue to get better. And Coach Frazier and Coach McDermott do a great job of taking the feedback from our defensive leaders, and taking their points too, to throw stuff in the game plan of what they see on film too. So it's not like the coaches just coming in and just saying this is what we're gonna run. It's a mixture of both, because you need that dialogue, because what the coaches may see, the players may see it different, or see certain things on film that the coaches don't see. So we do a great job of communicating and just staying together and just believing in the schemes that the coaches are bringing up each and every week.
Appreciate your time. Congrats on the win, Trey.
Thank you.
Hey, Trey, Matt Fairburn here. What was it like for you guys as a defense to stand on the sideline and watch the offense milk the last 7-ish minutes off the clock?
It was great to see, man. It was great to see, that our offense can finish games and finish in dominant fashion and run the ball. It was great, man. It was a great feeling, because, anytime you can just sit back and watch your offense go to work, that's a great feeling, when you've been out there all day and you've been out there battling, and you don't have to go back out there, and they're doing all the things to milk the clock and to secure the win. That's a big time. That's how that our team is evolving and getting better, because, those type of things don't show up on the stat sheet, but that's a big time statement, by those guys. So I'm very proud of that group and the way that they've been preparing and battling all year for sure.
And you've, it's been since training camp, I guess, that you would have gone up against Stefon Diggs in practice on a daily basis. But what can you say about the energy that he's brought to this team?
Man, it's contagious. He's a competitive guy, man. He brings the juice. He's going to come on the practice field. He's going to give you everything he's got. He practices like he plays. And everything he does on the field is not a surprise, because he practices 100% full speed each and every day, and he brings it. So, his success on the field is, during the game is not a surprise to none of us, because, the way that he goes about himself, taking care of his body, and, watching film and doing all the things that he does. So, it's definitely been a great asset to our team. He's brought a fire and competitive to our group and a confidence for sure.
Thank you, Trey.
The Bills defense has takeaways in 8 straight games. They have multiple takeaways in 4 of the last 5. One reason why we're seeing this team have so much success and seeing a lot of wins in the last several weeks. The Bills have beat the Steelers for the last 2 years in a row. They just got their first win against Ben Roethlisberger. If you think back to last year's win, it was against Devlin Hodges. Tre'Davious White had 2 interceptions in that game. The Bills come away with 2 interceptions in tonight's game, 1 from Taron Johnson, 1 from Levi Wallace. And you think to the defensive-minded way of this team, and it's because of Sean McDermott, it's because of Leslie Frazier. Sean McDermott is on the podium in the Zoom room talking to media right now.
Before we start, man, I just want to say glory to God, man, for this win and for all the blessings of people in our building, the fans. Just want to get that out there, man. Wish the fans could have been there tonight all the way through the season. This is for you guys, man, and just real proud of everyone in the organization, coaches, players, staff. Great team effort, man, all the way through this so far. A lot more football yet to be played, but just wanted to say that, man. Glory to God.
Sean, I know it's a lot to digest so soon after a game, but with the ebbs and flows of that, what do you feel right now proudest about emerging with that victory?
Yeah, the one thing I think that sticks out right away, Tim, is the last drive by our offensive line and backs and tight ends. That's a big time drive. 7 minutes to go, I think, in the game, roughly 7 minutes to go, and to not give them the ball back when we were pretty much one-dimensional because of the situation in the game, I thought was very impressive.
That's a way to obviously utilize your run game too, even though it hasn't necessarily been productive for you on a game-to-game basis, and it's a frustration that you've had. What are you able to draw out of that aspect of it in terms of, for lack of a better phrase, something to hang your hat on as that part of the game contributing when it's probably been frustrating for the guys who haven't been able to get that done?
I think we've shown we can do it at different times throughout the season. But like everything else, everything is a work in progress. We're not, there was moments in tonight's game where we turned the ball over. There was moments in tonight's game where, they got yards on us and where we hurt ourselves on special teams as well as some penalties. So there's a lot. We weren't perfect tonight, so there's a lot of work yet to be done.
And last one really quickly, there was a fumble. Ben Roethlisberger was called forward motion or forward progress. It seemed as though it was a pretty clean fumble. Did you have a chance? Did it happen too quickly? We didn't really see any kind of reaction shot of you on the sideline or how.
Yeah, you can't. So you can't challenge. The rule is you can't challenge when they rule forward progress. So the ruling that I was told is it was ruled forward progress and that I couldn't challenge it.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, congrats on the win. Stefon Diggs was so good tonight. I mean, he's been so good all season. What do you make of his performance and what he meant to you guys as he kind of got things going for the offense?
Yeah, I mean, I thought there was a good adjustments made at halftime in all three phases. Good communication leading into halftime. Taron Johnson's play before halftime while I'm on it, I think was a big momentum swing in the game. But the adjustments that were made at halftime and then to go out there and have an opening third quarter drive like we did, I thought was how we want to play. It was up to our standard. Before that, it really wasn't up to our standard.
And from a personal perspective, Stefon said tonight he's got players and coaches that believe in him and trust him. How have you been able to cultivate that relationship and make him feel that in this kind of funny year?
Well, I think with all of our players, we just try and do the best we can, like you mentioned. Be genuine, be authentic. We've got good people, and it's not just me. We got good people in our building, and not just players and coaches. We got good staff. I mean, so I think the environment, we try and build is one where people can be themselves and love each other, and when you do that, good things happen.
Thanks so much.
Hey, Sean, congrats on the win. You just mentioned Taron's pick six in the first half. Can you kind of expand a little bit on just, how much of a momentum swing and how much of a spark was that for you guys going into halftime there?
Yeah, that was big. I thought our defense was playing well up to that point, but, Ben is Ben, and he's seen a lot of defenses, and he has not turned the ball over a lot this year, and he's hard to get to when you rush him. And so I thought that was a pivotal moment in the game. And, and then also knowing that we were going to get the ball after half, right, and went back and got another 7 after half there was big as well.
What does it say about this offense, the fact that when it's not playing up to the level that you would want, especially in that first half there, the fact that Josh can come out in the second and come out firing in that third quarter and get it done? Just what does that say about this offense, the fact that even with the struggles that, you guys can get it done?
Yeah, I think, there's you want to come out and get into a rhythm right away. That's would be nice. We didn't have that rhythm tonight early on in the game, but I think that's a sign of a good team where you don't have your game early on, but you find it, and adjustments are made at halftime or before halftime, and that's why that communication between players and coaches to coaches is so important during the game, and then also at halftime, so we can, put ourselves in better position and get into a rhythm like we did in the second half there.
And lastly, for me, you mentioned that communication, talking to Stefon and Josh. Stefon said that, during the game, he goes up to Josh and kind of checks on him, even when things aren't going the way that you would want it to. Just how big is that to see that player-to-player communication and that player-driven leadership in moments of struggle during the game?
Yeah, the player-driven leadership is huge, as you've heard me talk about before, Heather. In any locker room, you got to have that. You got to have that. It's critical in good times and bad times. You got to have the player-driven leadership, and because the boat's going to rock once in a while, and they got to obviously stabilize it on their own because that locker room is so important. And so going back to your question, I just think that the communication, whether it's Diggs or Cole, Gage, Smoke, anyone, our tight ends, they've got good rapport during the week, and then also carries forward to the games. And I think that's important because you don't want to hold something back to where you get back in the film room on Monday and say, I wish I would have said that. That's not healthy. And so, and sometimes those conversations aren't easy. They're tough conversations, but they're important to be had.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, it's Kim Jones. I know there's tape to watch, but I think any of us who've watched the Steelers play have seen TJ Watt wreck games. Do you have a sense of how well Darrell Williams played tonight before? I know there's tape to watch, but do you have a sense of that?
Yeah, in that context, I would say I thought he really did a phenomenal job, Kim. That's not an easy matchup for any tackle in the league, and we have a lot of respect for TJ and how he plays and how his motor runs hot all the time. And I thought Darrell, did a really good job. Again, within the context of having to watch the film.
And my second question, if I may, and I appreciate it, Sean, you went back to Zach Moss and needed him, it seemed, as you bled that clock at the end, 6 days after he spent a lot of time on the sideline for that game. And you asked, maybe rhetorically, you mentioned to us, like, how does he reset? Did today tell you anything about Zach Moss and resetting?
Huge, man. That's so important. Mistakes are going to happen, and all I care about, all his teammates care about, is that he can reset as quickly as possible. I mean, that's being a team player, and I thought he did a phenomenal job of that. To your point tonight.
Appreciate it, Sean. Congrats.
Thanks.
Hey, Coach. Just piggybacking off the angle that Kim was taking with her question. Taron Johnson is a guy that was replaced in the lineup in week 6 against the Chiefs. He had a second chance and an opportunity to redeem himself. I know he had the giant play tonight, but just all the things that he has been asked to do and the way he's been able to kind of redeem himself with his play over the last 6 or 7 weeks. If you could just comment on that.
Yeah, I think it's a great example, Chris, of perseverance and him being resilient. And then the coaches, Taron, just doing a great job of developing him and getting him to a place where he's comfortable and clear on what's expected and how it's supposed to look. And I think he's playing really confident football right now.
And then just a quick follow on that. It's more than just that interception return for him. I mean, you're asking him to kind of fill in the run game, blitz, just the different hats that he's had to wear for you and the way that he's kind of come through in those areas.
Yeah, and I would say, with Tremaine and AJ and Matt, they're those guys along with Taron are kind of on a string. They do a lot together, and that rapport that's been building is good for us as well. So really, really proud of that group.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, Coach, Paul Stockman, News 4. Just had a quick question, very similar to what Heather and Chris were asking about Taron Johnson. Just how much did that interception change really the attitude of the team? Because it seemed like there was some sluggish, the offense was sluggish at times. Did you see a demeanor change at all with a play like that, with the team going into halftime?
Yeah, again, I thought it was a pivotal moment in the game. We had not scored on defense this year yet, and so, to my knowledge, and so it was good to, again, big time moment in the game, shift in momentum. As I said earlier, they're driving before half a little bit there, and then we were getting the ball after half as well. So I think the other drive that maybe goes unrecognized a little bit is that they get the ball right back with maybe 50-some seconds to go, 2 timeouts roughly, if my memory is correct, and we stopped them again. You know, in terms of them letting the clock run out there, what would have been a 3rd and 5, I believe 3rd and 6. So, I mean, that's hard to do against a quarterback like Ben Roethlisberger.
And when I was talking with Levi Wallace earlier, he said that your big thing is complementary football. To see that come to fruition, especially in a game like this where it really seemed like nothing was working, and then all of a sudden everything was working, really on the crux of one play. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, it is. It's complementary football. The guys, I mean, we weren't hitting on all cylinders offensively in the first half, and and then they come out, the defense to hold their own, and then to come out in the second half, offense to get going. I think defense had another 3 and out. We went right back at them again, and I think got some points again. So, and special teams had a hand in that also. So we were covering kicks, covering punts. I mean, Ray's a good returner. I think he's had success this year in a variety of ways with the ball in his hands. So I thought we did a really good job in all 3 phases, to your point.
Thanks, Coach.
Sean McDermott's press conference is presented by Hunt, the official real estate and relocation company of the Buffalo Bills.
The Bills have back-to-back wins in primetime games. They did it on Monday night against the 49ers, did it tonight against the Steelers, and Sunday night. This Saturday, they have a game against the Denver Broncos in the afternoon, and then they go to another Monday night game against the Patriots away, and then they finish out the season with a home game here against the Dolphins, their last 1 o'clock kick of the season. 4 things had to happen today in order for the Bills to possibly clinch the playoff. The last thing can happen tomorrow night. The Dolphins had to lose, the Patriots had to lose, the Raiders had to lose. All of those things happened. The Bills had to win. Tomorrow, if the Ravens lose, the Bills will clinch a playoff spot. So, Bills Mafia, get your sleep tonight because you have a game to watch tomorrow. And if you can't sleep tonight, just rewatch the game. Start it with that Taron Johnson pick 6. That's going to do it for us tonight. The Bills are 10-3 for the first time since 1991, defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers 26-15. We will catch you all next week.